In the Fuzzy Memories podcast, we celebrate the good, the rad, and the fugly of the 80s and 90s.
We're three latchkey kids who made it out alive.
And in each episode, we break down all the culture that popped, 1 year at a time.
Whether it's the birth of legends...
I'm Lyme disease free today, and I have Whitney Houston and MTV to thank. Or audacious moves.
Imagine also the poor Golden Gate Bridge. You turn 75 and people have a party on you.
Yep. I don't want that.
Or even confusing PSAs.
And the stop, drop, and roll. I mean, I assumed as an adult I would catch on fire weekly.
All the time!
We've got a take that will make you laugh.
We've also got thoughts on all sorts of random phenomena and the most unmitigated of gall.
Why sharks can't be trusted, people can't be trusted, and rivers can't be trusted. It's collusion.
It's of the highest degree.
Uh-huh.
You were counseling me to start my remarks with, first of all, bitch.
Everyone in that room would have snapped to attention.
It's going to be basically coffee lids, shark revenge, and then maybe like Matt Getz. We need to do something about him.
Join us every other Wednesday to celebrate the hits, the misses, and the misfits of the weirdest decades.
If I could tell my 14-year-old self from 1990 that I would be eating in a cheesecake factory in
Beverly Hills,
I'd be like, we did it. We did it, Joe.
We did it.
Listen and subscribe to Fuzzy Memories on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and your favorite podcast platform.
And welcome to Broads and Books, the podcast with one unique theme, 4 handpicked book recommendations, and 2 broads. I'm Erin.
And I'm Amy, and this is episode number 14. But does it have pictures?
Does it have pictures?
I mean, we're picking picks that have pictures.
I think
this
so.
Week.
Yes.
That's the thing.
All of our picks this week have pictures.
Yes.
In some form or another.
They do. And you know, Erin, we came up with this theme because it kind of directly relates to a story of yours.
It does. In high school, as I mentioned, I worked at Dalton.
Yes.
In the mall. And it's a mall and it's a smaller town. So it attracts some questionable clientele towards the end of the night when you're ready to close.
Sure.
And there was one particular gentleman who always came in when there was like 15 minutes to closing. And he would randomly just something off the shelf. I mean, it could be Ayn Rand. Like just the biggest book he could find. Novel. Moby Dick, sure. Why not?
Okay.
War and Peace, yep. Bring it up and say, now, can you get this in a version that has pictures? Every time. It was that question. And he would hand over some random book. And this is pre, like Google and Amazon being able to find any of that. So we had like an inner B. Dalton Barnes and Noble system where you could get on and see if you could have something shipped to the store. Like if there was a title someone wanted. So I would fake type.
Dippity typing.
Yeah, I was dippity typing. And then I'd say, oh, no, not this one. And then he would do that for 15 minutes, like go back and then come back. But I felt this need to stay on the nice side because I always felt like
he could turn real fast.
Yeah, he could turn real fast. But never deterred him. We never once were able to fulfill a request.
I was going to say, I mean, especially just randomly choose. There's not a lot of books that have pictures.
Right. And there's not a lot that then you could order an adaptation with pictures, particularly the ones that he was picking up. Another gal that I worked with, I wasn't on when this happened, but he apparently gave her a copy of Webster's Dictionary.
What? Like as a gift?
No.
He wanted to. Oh my God.
There's a dictionary version with pictures.
Buddy, that's an encyclopedia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's called Life. Look around. There it is. There's the definition of the word. Weird. Standing in front of me.
Life has pictures.
Yeah.
Check it out.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And then what was double weird about it is that there was a mall cop
Oh, no.
that was like he was probably all of our same age, but he thought he was very important because he was a mall cop. And he would always come around. And if he saw that guy, he'd be like, ladies, I'll walk you to your cars tonight. And first of all, I am in no way intimidating. And if I'm in no way intimidating, he's like negative 300 on the intimidating scale. And also, I don't even want him to walk me.
No, it sounds like just from that story, I'd be more scared of him walking me
I was like,
than any rando out there.
Yeah, I mean, the random picture guy, he's weird, but I've never seen him in the parking lot. I don't even know where he lives. He might just be waiting for us to close the store and be hiding in the stacks.
He might be.
I don't even know.
He might be living in the store.
He might be.
Yeah.
But he's not. It's fine.
And then he hibernates during the day and just comes out at night when he wakes up. It's like, oh,
pictures.
time for pictures.
I need honey and pictures.
That's an excellent origin story for this episode.
So it does make me laugh because when I was prepping this episode, there were a few novels that I didn't know had been adapted into graphic memoirs.
If he was asking now,
novels.
I could
fulfill some of these
Where
requests.
do you think he is these days?
I'm going to guess somewhere in that mall, which is basically abandoned at this point.
Still there.
Yeah, I think they're thinking about turning it into a hockey rink maybe.
Oh.
So
Do you think he's just randomly shouting to imaginary people, doesn't have pictures?
I think now he's probably going to people and being like, can we get this without ice?
Yep, that sounds right.
Can I do this but with roller skates?
I admire the gumption behind.
Yeah.
He does not accept what is just in front of him.
Yeah.
He wants more.
Yeah. And it was always like it was never menacing, It was just overly kind of nice, which was also, I think, a little more off-putting.
Yeah.
Like if he had been kind of mean, you'd be like, oh, picture guy. But you're always kind of like, I don't know what
it's picture guy.
No, you're more like, I don't know what picture guy's up to. But I don't want to be the one to find out. So I'm going to keep this balance real carefully.
That was a smart move.
Yeah.
Smart
I feel
move.
good about it. I got out of there. I kept a box cutter in my apron.
That's good.
So.
That's good.
Yeah.
Just in case he got too overeager.
Yeah. The
with
likelihood
images.
is I'd probably slice my own finger off trying to get it open, but it made me feel better. So
The illusion of safety.
a box cutter, that's going to save me from, but it doesn't have pictures, guy.
Excellent.
I kind of miss that job now that I think about it.
Do you? Yeah.
All those books.
Yeah.
So great.
Sounds like good memories.
It was good memories. So, this theme made me think a lot about that, but also kind of art, because a lot of times books that have pictures in them are, they have some kind of artist or ability. They have that kind of artistic ability that they're bringing out in another way with their writing. So was there a favorite comic strip that you had growing up?
Oh, for sure. Calvin and Hobbes. All the way. It was so, it appealed to the kid in me when I was a kid. But as I started getting older, there's some adult themes in there. There's a lot of nostalgia and heartbreak that you don't quite understand. But, always laugh. Hobbes.
That's true.
I just want Podcat to be like Hobbes.
Oh, is that?
I've always imagined her as a tiger or the mountain lion. There was a mountain lion sighting in our city this week. I just wanted Podcat and the mountain lion to get together.
You did.
Yeah.
That. It explains a lot more about your dynamic that you want her to be Hobbes. That's making so many more things clear.
I just
Her
honestly,
angriness,
yeah.
I'll never be that. Just accept me as I am. I'm a cat. I don't know what you're doing.
be nicer to me, Podcat.
Yeah, and then you're just like, but just be more like Hobbes.
Be more like Hobbes.
Yeah.
That's true. I am holding her to a standard she can't match. Oh,
I don't know.
I'm a terrible human.
Podcat, you can get there. Just be the
That's
Hobbes
true.
Stuart Calvin. It's
Yeah.
not that much to ask, really.
It's true.
Yeah.
Podcat, I give you food. I give you shelter.
Yeah.
I occasionally give you entertainment.
Yeah, I would say more than occasionally.
Yeah.
I think she's
Sometimes
watching more
without,
than you think.
I was going to say, sometimes without meaning to. She's just watching me and laughing.
Good. Great. I'm sure that you get plenty of pets and, little belly rubs. And you, Podcat, you have a bed that warms up when you step on it.
She does.
So don't tell me you can't pull out some Hobbes for an automatic bed warmer. I could pull out Hobbes. I would get in a tiger outfit if my bed automatically warmed when I got in it.
The only reason Erin is speaking so forcefully right now is Podcat's not in the room.
No, I'd be terrified. I would not say any of this. She's. In fact, I looked behind my back to make sure she
You
wasn't.
did, like she was looming over you.
Oh, there she is. I'll stop.
Oh, before you get in trouble.
Yeah,
with
we need to move on.
Yeah. I have another question about you.
Oh, all right. Okay.
Just thinking about, illustrations, pictures, art. What's the weirdest experience you've ever had involving art? This could be an art class, could be a museum, could be who knows.
I actually have a few.
Oh.
But I'm gonna go right to an art show one.
Ooh, oh God, this already is sounding.
Yeah.
It's going to be everything we want and more.
So I was in college, and I went to a student art show. And I consider myself to be a fairly, open-minded person, interested in a lot of different things.
Yes.
So I was actually excited about it. And you start going through the art, and some of it you're like, wow, that's incredible. And some of it you're like, I don't think I'm smart enough to understand that.
Sure.
And then some of it you're like, I don't quite understand it at all. So typical art show, I would say. So I get to two exhibits in particular. One is a glass upside down with another glass on top of it.
A glass upside, so like a tumbler, like upside down with okay.
Just
Got it.
balanced.
Yeah. Okay. That was it?
Yep.
Oh.
And then the other one was two chairs leaning back to back on each other. So essentially the way they were leaning was making it so they were both leaning and neither one was on the ground. Okay?
Oh, okay.
So as we're at the art show, it gets mentioned that, we're going to do the awards portion. And the person who, by the way, I won't say the name, but used only their first name.
Oh, good
like
Lord.
We're Cher or Beyonce, or we're not at that level,
No,
people. This is a
you're in
college art show.
college.
Put your last
Calm
name
the
on
F
there.
down. Yeah.
Also, you entered two glasses and two chairs.
Yep.
There's no reason not to put your last name. Maybe you didn't on purpose because you were, but anyway. So
that
it
siren
gets,
right now, it's a response to the idea of this one name.
horrifying. Either that or podcast call me an ambulance for what she's about to do.
It's like, I'm going to take this girl on.
So it gets announced that he won. Like he won a big ass
he did.
scholarship for
A
the
scholarship?
chairs. Yeah, for the chairs on each other. Okay, so I'm standing by the chairs when this gets announced, and I'm looking, thinking, what? At the same time that somebody knocks it down accidentally, he comes over and puts it back together in like 10 seconds. Puts the chairs back together and then just stands there. And I'm like, what? Like, that's
This is
the
not.
scholarship?
Oh my!
He put the chairs. It was 10 seconds of time. I'm looking at these drawings and paintings that clearly took people, hours, and the long, thought process and how they all built on each other and they were beautiful. And I'm like, did nobody else just see what happened? Like that guy knocked over the chairs and then just set them back up. That's something that my kids do on a daily basis. And
They're
I
not getting
guarantee
scholarships.
No, there is no scholarship being offered around there.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah.
You could have entered yourself as an artist for knocking it over,
I know.
and then like saying
"That was my
comment.
performance piece."
Yeah.
After that happened, it took a lot for me not to punch those glasses over.
For sure.
Because I was like, that's just inappropriate.
Yeah.
Like I don't like what you're about.
This
So then I never
half-assed.
went to a student art show again.
Oh, I think that's a good reaction to that,
I
though.
think it's fair just to throw it all out. I don't know where he is now. I should probably look it up and see. Maybe he's like some famous.
I mean, if he's going by the one name, then
might be hard because I
Yeah.
don't know his last name. But
unless it's distinctive, like
maybe he's doing these chair installations all over the country, and I have no idea.
maybe his name's like
Maybe he's getting people to like balance on them, and it's becoming even better.
I'm picturing him named Theodore for some reason.
Oh, you're close.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Close.
I'm gonna just name him Theodore in my
Okay,
head.
that's
Yeah,
fine.
yeah,
I'll
yeah.
accept it. Yeah,
Okay,
I
great.
like it. Yeah. Yeah. What I named him was a procrastinator because what I think you did was forget that you needed to enter something in the student art
And
show.
then whoops, art.
You went and bought two chairs at Goodwill. You put them by each other, and then you made everyone think that they were dumb because they didn't understand what the actual meaning was.
And you got paid for that.
Yeah.
That's frustrating.
And I call bullshit. There was no meaning.
Exactly.
So, I dogged on art classes there for a little bit, but have you ever taken an art class?
I have. I've taken, let's, be be clear about the level of art class that we're taking here. I have taken like a local art class like here at the Art Center, which was kind of fun, you know, like adults doing their thing. I think it was a mixed media. So we did all sorts of stuff. It was very like fun, kind of therapeutic. But there's now sort of a thing happening, right, where you can go to an art class and drink and paint whatever they're painting.
Right.
When I was living in Chicago, I went to one of these before they became sort of a big thing. It was at a local bar. I took full advantage of that bar and then went off and sort of riffed on the design. And
That should be the name of the painting. Riff on design.
but I still have them hanging in my bedroom, just so you know.
Yeah, you do.
It was like a farmhouse. It was supposed to be real, you know, cute and serene and everything. I painted like orange red fire skies, and it's like, this is my commentary on society.
On farmhouses.
Then there was one that was a cat. I was like, I'm not going to paint just any ordinary cat. No. I'm going to make him a devil cat. And I did.
Yeah. Okay. Nice.
So that was really a story of me feeling emboldened by alcohol, that I was a friggin' artist.
You know what, though? If you had been in that art show, that's the kind of thing I would have liked to see you in. Let's riff on some design. Let's get something unique in here. And by unique, I don't mean don't tip 2 glasses like I put them in my cupboard after they're out of the dishwasher.
Right. We're going to put a farmhouse under a blood red sky.
Yes. And I'm going to say that blood red sky has some deeper meaning. So, just saying. It's been really hard not to say his name. I've had to like mentally stop myself.
Yeah.
Because I really want to mercilessly make fun of it. Because that was the other thing that was really, really frustrating, was that he only used his first name.
Of course.
I find that super... Because I also knew him. So, like, around campus. So I was like, this is absurd.
And
like,
let's be clear, this is not like a New York City student art. This is
no, this wasn't Juilliard people. This wasn't This is a school that's very not known for art, actually. So no, whatever you're thinking is
lower. Think lower.
Think much lower. Much lower. Yeah. Like if you were going to scale art schools, this would be more like in maybe the paint by number category.
Or put 2 chairs together.
Or put 2 chairs together and win a scholarship.
Thanks, Theodore.
And I kept thinking, do I have to take art classes to win a scholarship? Because I can do this next year.
Exactly.
No problem. There was a really horrifying performance piece that I have yet to, they played it on a video that I have yet to fully come to terms with. But even that I would have liked to see win over the other.
Yeah, it sounds like there was more effort there.
Yeah, there was.
In performance.
Oh yeah, it was very well thought out. I'm not sure that even the artist knew entirely what was going on, but it was part of the experience.
Okay.
Yeah. I thought about dragging one of the chairs over and sitting down and watching it.
Oh boy. Well, okay. So, you know, we were ragging on art shows and stuff like that,
sorry.
but let's be honest. We also appreciate some art.
Yes.
We appreciate books with pictures.
I do.
So we found some great pics that we want to recommend to you.
Yes.
That have some pictures.
This is a little bit of a looser category for us. We're not, it can't really be contained.
It can't.
Because we're talking about books and they have pictures.
Right.
So we're getting into graphic novels, some comics, some novels that just have pictures.
And then once it comes to pop culture, all bets are off.
Hell breaks loose.
So just buckle up. Here we go.
No, it has pictures, to answer the first question.
And my first pick is actually a fiction pick. It's a graphic novel called Bitch Planet.
We almost did the same one.
Seriously?
Yeah, but I figured in the back of my head, I was like, I know what Amy's going to pick. So I put it away.
Oh my God. I'm so glad that we both read this. Okay. That you can contribute here and tell me what you think. Okay. So let me read the back of the book so you get a feel.
Yes, please do.
For Bitch Planet by Kelly Sue DeConnick. Started in around 2015 to now. It's an ongoing series. I think there's 3 collections. Or the 3rd is coming soon,
I
think.
So, yes.
So the back of the book says, are you non-compliant? Do you fit in your box? Are you too fat, too thin, too loud, too shy, too religious, too secular, too prudist, too sexual, too queer, too black, too brown, too whatever it is they'll judge you for today? You just may belong on Bitch Planet.
I feel like maybe we should have named our podcast.
We should have.
Because does that not kind of describe?
It really does. And in fact, I was going to say, so Well, first, let me tell you a little bit about the story, but so we're in the future where non-compliant women are sent to the Auxiliary Compliance Outpost, commonly known as Bitch Planet. As the back said, these are women who are too much. And if you've been listening to the podcast for a while, you may remember back in episode 2, I think it was, we talked about a pick called Trainwreck. All these women that are too much. All of those women would be on Bitch Planet.
Definitely.
I think you and me, Erin, we would be on Bitch Planet.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And we would be having some fun, I'll be honest.
That's fine.
With some of
I'd
the
buy
things.
the fast pass for Bitch Planet. I'd be doing everything.
So back home on Earth, the U.S. is run by the fathers, gross, who love sports and have made...
Let's use the word gross. Gross.
Gross. These fathers love sports. They've made it compulsory viewing, especially a game called Megaton, which sounded, and tell me if you think this is right, like a super brutal kind of combo of football and like mixed martial arts or something, like real weird. There's at least one person in the first book that dies from it.
Right. Yeah.
On Bitch Planet, overseers, they discover that a former athlete named Cam is in there. And they give her a proposal. Create a Megaton team among the bitches. And this could drive ratings. But what they don't know is the women have a plan to use this.
Yeah,
they want to
do.
use Megaton to get some revenge.
I like it.
Yes. Obviously, theme-wise, this is a graphic story. It suits this story so well. It felt like it's kind of campy in a way. It kind of felt like a tribute to like old women in prison kind of movies, maybe even porn. Who knows?
Right.
I mean, yeah. There's also lots of extras, like the comic book add-ons. There's pages where it has fake ads for women's products, including, I wanted to see if you thought this was one of your favorites. An ad for a feminine product says, what every girl should know, your vagina is disgusting.
Gross.
An ad for muffins says, now with fiber for pooping.
That was, that one just felt too real.
So think Kill Bill, think Handmaid's Tale, think Orange is the New Black, kind of all smushed together. I think it's
that was
funny,
a great descriptor.
Right? You think? I mean, it's kind of elements of all of those.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny. It's dark. It's gloriously gratuitous. There's just some really hilarious stuff in there. It's a quick read. But lots of little nuggets. I was noticing when I was rereading this, because it's so quick, I was rereading it this week. And there's lots of, like, in the panels, there's lots of Easter eggs that if you, kind of, you could just skip past them, or you can say, oh, what's that? And then it pays off later. Kelly Sue DeConnick is behind the Captain Marvel comics. Apparently, she had a blink and you'll miss it cameo in the movie in Captain Marvel.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I know. I just found this in research that went on, to make tons and tons of money. And she's in the Avengers Endgame movie.
Does she have more of a role in the Avengers Endgame, or just like a quick
Captain Marvel?
Oh, yeah. Sorry. I thought you said, okay.
No, but yes.
Okay.
I don't think she has a cameo in
Oh,
Avengers
okay.
movie.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Apparently, when I was doing some research too, so if you've ever heard of the Bechdel test, Alison Bechdel is a cartoonist, and she created this notion of the Bechdel test that if in a movie there is no scene that doesn't have two women that are not talking about anything male related, it does not pass the Bechdel test. Most things do not pass the Bechdel test. But Kelly Sue DeConnick suggests there's an adjunct to this called the sexy lamp test. She says, if you can replace your female character with a sexy lamp and the story still basically works, maybe you need another draft. They have to be protagonists, not devices. This is the genius behind Bitch Planet. And so you get kind of a feel for where this is coming from. It's wonderful.
I love that quote. Wow.
Wasn't it great? Yeah. She seems super cool.
Yeah, she
I
does.
do everything. Follow her on everything.
Yeah. And I agree. It is a quick read. And I'll be perfectly honest that I'm not I don't get into the graphic novel genre as much. I've, gotten into it a little bit more, but I loved it. I enjoyed it. And it's the perfect format for this. I don't even know if I think that the story would be as effective without it.
I don't think it would be either.
Yeah.
I think it's that combo of visuals and the story that make it so great. Yeah. Well, there you go. 2 broads recommended this one.
Yes. That's so funny that I absolutely knew 100% you're going to pick
amazing.
that. It was, I literally had it on my desk this week, but I was like, nope.
Have we talked about this before, you and I?
I think so.
My memory is
It's
crap.
come up, I believe.
Okay.
If it hasn't, it was that ride or die. I instinctively knew.
Right. You just knew.
It like started to glow, and I was like, "Oh yeah,
Amy's
it's an
going for this
Amy
one."
pick.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yep.
Well, thank you for ceding the floor on that one.
Hey, that's all right.
Yeah.
I kind of, like the back of Bitch Planet says, I decided to squeeze the box of this a little, stretch a little bit on the genre pick. So my first pick is not necessarily a fiction pick. This author
Go for it.
has written fiction previously. It is called Good Talk by Mira Jacob. It's called A Memoir and Conversation. So essentially what this is, it was just published in March of 2019. It's a graphic memoir that takes place all in conversations. So she's done this incredible job of drawing people in her life, and then she's put them like in different settings, and they're having conversations. So they're real conversations that she's had, which is, where we're getting the memoir aspect, but it's very focused on kind of one aspect of her life. It starts with Mira's son, Z, who is half Jewish and half Indian. Mira's Indian. She married a Jewish man. So he has a lot of questions about his own family, what people are going to think of him, and a lot of questions related to political climate.
Sure.
So the questions are deep, and as a parent, I can say would be terrifying and scary, but also dead on. I mean, you can just picture a kid saying that or having the conversation.
Wow.
And her struggle, which is something she highlights so well, of how to handle it. Is she saying the right thing? What's too much? And then she's drawing on her own experiences. So you're having these flashbacks to things that she learned. And how did I learn that? Did I learn that because that's what society taught me to learn, or I put my own spin on it? And the context for each of the questions that he poses becomes the conversation between the two of them. So then she goes back and explains where she got her viewpoint from, and she'll kind of bring you up to speed on what was going on with them at that time as a family. And then sort of answers the question without answering the question.
Wow.
It's beautiful. There's a lot of difficult personal topics in it, but I laughed. I cried. I mean, I read it in one sitting because I could not put it down. I mean, it was phenomenal. And I will.
And it's a big book. I'm looking at it right now. Yeah.
I'll be the first to admit that I'm not a huge graphic novel person. It's not something that I normally pick up. I had heard great things about this book. And I opened it at a bookstore and I was just immediately drawn to it. Just the style. If for nothing else, at least look at it in a bookstore to see the style. You'll end up buying it because it's so different and unique and so cool. And then the idea that it's entirely in conversation is also incredibly powerful, very poignant, very touching. And I will probably reread it again at some point just because it was so great and you feel like you're powering through it. And I probably missed some things, some extra nuance, but yeah, it was.
What a great idea. What a great framing method. Yeah. And you showed me just a brief glimpse of some of the art, and it is truly unique. Like, how would you describe it? It's almost like drawing and photos. And
Yes. It's incredible. And you feel like you know the people, because when I say it's a drawing, it's such a realistic drawing of them that it doesn't feel like the typical maybe graphic novel or comic book. They usually kind of have a style or a way that they draw people that is kind of characteristic of that genre. And it doesn't have that at all. I mean, you have this deep connection to these characters because it's like you're seeing them, which is a different experience than reading. And to me, that's why it's perfect and it should have pictures, because it's enhancing the reading experience. It's not drawing away. It's not something that you could get without it. So
it's not just tacked on or added on.
Yeah. It's not just an extra thing. It's just very, very, very powerful. It was incredible. I really can't say enough about it because I really enjoyed everything from beginning to end in that book.
And you said that she's a novelist as well?
Yes, I believe she had some other novels published prior to this. And I read, and I can't remember if it was maybe in the acknowledgments section of the book, that it was her agent or her publisher, somebody that said, you should draw a book. And she was like, what? And then she kind of started to think about it, because I'm assuming she probably has a lot of artistic talent. They knew that. And
I would love to do one of these. My artistic talent is nil.
Oh, I was thinking that the whole way through. Yeah. I'm like, this is how awesome that you're such an incredible writer and you got all this artistic ability.
Amazing.
It is. It's so, and I don't know, the book, everything about this book, the size is super cool. it's just different.
It's a
It
good
really
size for
grabs-
holding. I'm just looking at that right
It is.
now.
Look
Yeah.
at it. See?
Mhm.
Ooh, look at
And
this.
opening it. Did you
Yeah.
break the binder?
Well, I kind of did. You can kind of tell, but not terrible.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
It's all right.
That's fine.
It just kind of sits weird after you read it.
Yeah.
That was a lot of conversation about it.
We're having a conversation about the memoir on conversations. It's fine. Yeah.
Look at us being meta. Yeah. So anyway, I would say it's one too that, if you're particular about the books you buy, which is a problem for me, I should be more particular about the books I buy. This is one that I think is worth every dime because if you
Good
get it from the
investment.
library, I just don't know. I wanted to have it.
Yeah.
Like, it's that kind of book. So
Speaking of getting one from the library, I think I now have to buy my next pick because I read this from the library.
oh, okay.
It's called The Best We Could Do.
Oh,
It is an illustrated memoir.
wow.
T-Boy is the name of the author. And yeah, I mean, I loved this so much. I think I need to have it on my shelf. So
Very cool.
yes, T-Boy, this is a memoir from 2017. T-Boy is the child of refugees who fled Vietnam in 1978. So around the time she becomes a mother, maybe around 10 years ago, she decides to really dig into her family history. I think like many of us, there's things that we maybe know about in our history. We don't want to probe too much. We don't want to ask too many questions, especially if it's going to cause our parents pain or, family members, any of that. But with her, there's all of that, but also there's this added layer of another life. Some of her older siblings remember it. Her parents remember it. Another country involved. So it's a really interesting thing that she wants to press into a little bit. In this memoir, she shows the stories that she learns in conversation with her normally sort of maybe cranky, taciturn father and her kind of tight-lipped mother, along with older siblings. And they reveal what life was like in Vietnam during wartime, what it was like for them as children, what it was like to escape, what it was like to try to forge something entirely new here in a completely different country. This, I think, you mentioned that book was so good because it was the combination of visuals as well as story. And maybe it wouldn't have done as well otherwise. I think the same thing for this. I think this could have been a, normally written memoir.
Sure.
But the combination of the two made it so much more hard hitting.
Mm-hmm.
We see the hardships and the joys her parents experienced. And not only is that, we see what it looks like in the author's head because it's her that's drawing it. So we're kind of seeing her interpretation both from the content itself and through her drawing style, which is really interesting.
Yeah.
We learn more about T's older siblings and about two siblings that died that never made it here. We see what it's like to learn all this as an adult and sort of rethink some of formative memories. I thought it was this way, but now I know this, this frames this entirely differently. It's especially affecting to see her as she becomes a mother. And, I think I've heard this. I'm not a mother myself, of course, but I've heard this from many people that when you become a mother, you maybe see what your parents did in different ways, both positive and negative. And that's definitely the case for her. I think this is a great read just for anyone, but also especially if sometimes when you're reading about history, you kind of struggle with remembering the dates or trying to picture where this is or whatever. This is really nice because there's maps, there's timelines, there's also very, personal stories that move you through. I watched a short clip of T-Boy describing this book, and she says it's a love letter to her parents, a way to thank them, but it's also a way for her to explain to them her own experiences and why she reacted in some of the ways that she did, which is such an interesting way. It's kind of another conversation, the whole process of this. She also said that this is one story, one family, one war, but this is also what's happening now. Different families, different names, different wars. Refugees are not numbers. They're not statistics, she says, but they're human beings with all these, very involved, heartbreaking stories. I think I really enjoyed this as well. I've always been drawn to the Vietnam War for some reason, the history of it. I think, too, because we live in Iowa, and not a lot of people may know, but after the Vietnam War, Iowa opened itself up to refugees from Southeast Asia. Our governor at the time, Robert Ray, he saw it as a moral issue. We need to welcome these families here. So we have a really big, thriving community of Laotian, Cambodian, Vietnamese, Thai refugees from that era. And in fact, I went to school with a lot of the kids of those families. So it's a really interesting way to look at that history and to see a personal take on it.
And, you know, it struck me when you were talking, and that was one of the things that I liked about her book too, and why I think that it serves so well by the pictures is because they're dealing with topics that a lot of times people are able to brush off by making it seem impersonal.
Yes.
Like, that's not about me. That's
Right.
not about anybody I know. So it's not something I have to care about.
Right.
And for some reason, when you have a visual representation of someone, it's a lot harder to say,
Absolutely.
that doesn't affect me.
Yes.
And it makes their heartbreak so much more personal because you feel like, you know, you're watching it because it's this picture, even though it's a, you know, artistic rendition, whatever, it still feels so weighted and anchored that it makes that the messages that it sounds like both of the books are trying to convey that much more meaningful.
Absolutely. Yeah. You can't quite turn away as easily as you might be able
and
to
I have to
otherwise.
imagine that they'd reach more people than they would in just a
sure.
traditional format because it just is such a different way to tell a story that it's got to draw a whole another audience in. So
That said, I'm sure it took so much longer to create these. Can you even imagine?
Oh my gosh, right?
I think in that interview that I saw with her, or in the acknowledgments, she mentions this took forever, you know, like a decade or something to put all this together. Yeah.
I don't doubt it. Oh my goodness. Well, my second pick is also a nonfiction pick.
Okay.
It's actually, they title it kind of a memoir. I would say it's more of a humorous essay type situation. It's called Hyperbole and a Half: Unfortunate Situations, Flawed Coping Mechanisms, Mayhem, and Other Things That Happened.
That was a lot.
Right?
Yeah.
And it's by Allie Broche. She originally started a blog called Hyperbole and a Half. And it was essentially, I never followed the blog, but from what I understand was kind of essays or little stories about things that were happening to her. So her part that has pictures are these incredibly crudely drawn, like a crudely drawn version of herself that is almost like a weird little like monstery guy that has like two little legs and two little arms. Fantastic. And then but you can tell she's got a lot of artistic talent because like her dog.
I was going to say, so this is something we could do, but no.
You could, but I think that the whole point is there's such a particular point to the way she draws that I'd probably try to do that and people would be like, no, that's just bad. No, you didn't land that plane. You didn't even get off the ground. This
Nailed
is just weird what you did here. So no.
Okay.
Yeah. So but the pictures really play a part in this story to really punch up the jokes. I mean, the humorous, it's all true stories, things that happened to her, moments from her life. But the way that she's adding these pictures in and explaining what she's thinking or like explaining what her dog is doing in this scene is great. And so far I've made it seem like it's kind of this lighthearted, like funny, but they're actually essays in between. And she delves into some really deep topics. She has a couple sections about depression in particular that I wouldn't hesitate to say are probably two of the best things I've ever read about depression and the actual feelings. It was just such a captivating way to do it. The pictures that went with it were, while they were funny, they were also very spot on, very heartbreaking. I mean, every picture, every sentence felt like a range of emotions.
Wow.
I laughed out loud. I mean, I was by myself laughing out loud when I originally read this book. And like you, I reread it this week just to remind myself because it came out in 2013. So, and there's so much about it that you can't even accurately put into words, but so many great moments. Like there's a section that I love where she has two dogs and one that she has decided is much less smart than the other dog. So she actually got the other dog as a helper dog because she thought maybe he would help the other one be a little bit
will
smarter.
just accentuate the dumbness.
It was really, yeah. So she has this one part where she's giving her dog an IQ test that she found online.
Oh my God.
Hilarity. The pictures of it are just incredible. There's another part where she's explaining at the end to the dogs this biggest misconceptions they have about life. And one of them is like, holes are never interesting. No matter what you're doing, they're never, I mean, it's just so great. And there's these little things that you just wouldn't think to point out. But when you do, you're like, oh yeah. The whole book opens with her writing letters to her former self, like dear 4-year-old self, dear 5-year-old self, like all these, and then random things she remembers that she did. Like, I don't know why you did that. Lucky for you as an adult, you grew out of it. Phenomenal. So great. So it's also a quick read, but it's again, it's just that range of emotions. I mean, a lot of it is more humorous, but there's some really great moments in it. There's some really particular heartfelt moments in it, and I enjoyed all of it. So,
How often would you say you laugh out loud when you're reading something?
I can really enjoy something and laugh to myself.
Me
but
too.
when I say I laugh out loud,
Yeah.
I'm saying that I actually did that.
Wow.
And there were 3 times in this book that I actually had to stop and then like have myself a laugh
Oh my
and then come back
goodness.
to it because, and maybe it's because I just feel kinship to her and her sense of humor, but yeah. And I say that about TV too. Like I will say, no, I laughed out loud, which means
yeah.
I had to pause it.
Yes.
I was laughing.
Yes.
Not just like chuckling to myself, but like,
Nope.
I don't care. No one else in the room, but I'm having a guffaw. Yep. Getting it.
This is not a chuckle.
No.
This is a guffaw.
This is turned into something.
I had one of those with one of your recommendations way back when, AP Bio. I've had to stop that multiple times and
Oh, great.
guffaw the shit out of it. Yeah, just it's wonderful.
It's one of those that I'm so thankful that all these technology people and advances came about. And now we have things like a DVR and streaming so that I can pause it, rewind it, that you don't have to wear out a VCR tape.
Right.
Yeah.
Or with live TV. Oh my God,
Also,
we
at the-
couldn't do it.
At the beginning of that sentence, I said technology people.
I knew what you meant.
I know that so hard, nothing was coming. Then I was like, wow, that was incredibly articulate. Technology people did all the techny things, and now we have technology.
Reminds me of that one time that I was basically like, yeah, it was real good.
It
was real.
It was good.
real good.
All 4
Words
of these
are
picks
gone.
were good. So, yay.
End of podcast. Whew. Okay, well, both of your picks today sound remarkable.
Bringing the heat.
Well, now's the time we would normally transition to pop culture. And I think, we kind of are. But as we said, we're kind of treating it, we're loosey-goosey.
It's a loosey-goosey day.
Loosey-goosey. Which is such a gross. I don't understand it. I don't know. Something
Which
about
reminds
it.
me, in that book I just said, there's a part where a goose gets in her house. And she puts the pictures in there because she's like, listen, I didn't make this up. Here are the pictures. That was another part I was laughing out loud so hard. Because geese are mean.
Can you imagine
You are
if a
in
goose
trouble.
came in and Podcat tried to
I would save Podcat because Podcat, that's no joke.
no.
You could probably handle the mountain lion.
Not the goose. Okay,
Sorry.
so I need to tell Podcat, listen, you can handle your cousin.
You've obviously never been chased by a goose.
I've never been chased by a goose.
Okay, well, I know that people were warning you about the mountain lion, but they should have been telling you to watch out for the geese.
And there's
because
way more geese around here than
they
there
are
mountain lions.
terrifying.
Wow.
They're so mean.
Is that why? So we
And they
here
don't back
in
down.
no here in Des Moines, we have a lot of geese that will just cross the street and people will stop for them, which is
yeah, you have no
kind, but
choice.
maybe is it out of fear?
Yes.
We're stopping for fear.
Yes.
Okay.
Because if you hit that first goose, there's a multitude of goose behind it. That goose. Geese. A multitude of gooses.
So many gooses.
So many gooses behind it that are going to attack you.
Wow.
It's just the thing. I used to have a client that they would climb on top of cars in the parking lot, and it was terrifying because they wouldn't get off. So you're like, I don't know what my options are. Do I just drive? You'd like kind of wave your hands, and then more of them would surround. It was like a bad gang movie where you're like, whoa, there's way more. I could
And
take one, maybe, but
These are not dance fighting gangs. These are
No.
real gangs.
no, they are going for your eyes.
Wow.
No mercy.
So again, mountain lions looking better and better.
I'm saying you get
Invite
a
'em
saddle.
in.
That's probably going to end well, but geese, no.
Now I have a picture of me and Podcat on a saddle on the mountain lion, just riding through town. I wonder if cars would break for us.
Yes. And then
Like, what is happening?
I would spend my very last dime creating signs that said Amy/Mountain Lion Crossing. I would. I would post them everywhere.
Should we just do that anyway?
Yes.
Yeah.
Nothing could be wrong with this idea.
Even if our mountain lions don't manifest or come around, we should
Doesn't
still
matter.
do
They're
it.
gonna at some
Yeah,
point.
They will.
It's just preemptive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, that was a tangent for Loosey Goosey. What's your pop culture pick?
I was trying to think if there was any connection to what we just discussed
No.
and my pick, and there really isn't. So I'm just going to hard pivot.
Hard pivot.
Yeah, okay.
This is us pivoting. Go.
So pop culture wise, I chose what has been termed an emotion picture by Janelle Monáe.
Oh.
Dirty Computer.
Mm-hmm.
It's a short film, a visual album, all sorts of things. If you've ever seen Beyonce's Lemonade, you kind of have a template for what I'm talking about, but it's a little bit more involved. Basically, Janelle Monáe, incredible singer, songwriter, dancer, actress, everything.
So good.
All around badass. She shot a movie that also doubles as individual music videos for her album. And did I mention it's sci-fi?
Of course it is.
Yeah.
Come on.
I always love me some good sci-fi.
Yes.
All day.
All day. All day. You don't say it like that. All day. All day. All day. Sorry for the obscure New Girl reference.
I wanted to bring that in somewhere because I knew you had just finished New Girl, so you know.
Yeah.
All day.
All day.
Yeah.
No, you're not saying it right. It's all day.
If you have no idea what we're talking about,
No, sorry.
watch some
Wow.
New Girl.
Yeah.
Schmidt's the glorious character that we're referring to.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyway, hard pivot back
Hard
to
pivot
Janelle
back.
Monáe.
We're doing it today. We're all about the pivot.
The emotion picture starts with Monet's voiceover, and I'll read it here so you get an idea. And after I put this together, I actually realized there's a lot of connections to Bitch Planet.
Oh, yeah. I believe it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So Janelle Monáe says, they started calling us computers. People began vanishing, and the cleaning began. You were dirty if you looked different. You were dirty if you refused to live the way they dictated. You were dirty if you showed any form of opposition at all. And if you were dirty, it was only a matter of time. Then, very ominous, then it starts. We see Janelle Monáe's character Jane in the process of this cleaning. Each memory is stripped away, but first we, the viewers, see it, and it's an individual music video for her album. What quickly becomes clear is that Jane has been designated for cleaning because she has a romance with a woman, Zen, who is played by Tessa Thompson. My favorite. Wow. I'm a big fan of her. In fact, there's a lot of online chatter that those two are actually in a relationship, and I really want that to happen. Oh, but they will neither confirm nor deny.
Good for them.
Yeah.
I mean,
keep
I'm
us
sorry
guessing.
for you, but good for
Right.
them. Yeah.
I respect them keeping
Yeah.
us guessing.
It's kind of fun.
Yep. I'll just keep watching this and, imagine. Yeah. So we've got a totalitarian society, deeply homophobic, sexist, racist. But all of Jane's memories, these dirty computer music videos, are this wonderful celebration of femaleness, of nonconformity, blackness, of love. It's wonderful. And it builds to an ending that I won't reveal. I will say, however, don't stop when the credits start. I made that mistake. And then I found out later when I was doing research, there was extra. And it changed the story. So don't stop. Don't do it.
Don't
Learn
do
from
it.
my mistake.
It's like the credit thing at the movie. Just
It is.
stick it out.
Keep there. No matter if you have to pee. Stay in your
Stay
damn seat.
in there. There is an extra. Come on.
Be willing to pee your pants for that extra.
Yes.
I chose this because she didn't just create an album. She created this visual element to accompany the album, which I think is kind of what's happening in all of our picks today. It really enhances the album. Also helps us jam and the visuals. So if you've ever seen Janelle Monáe, she used to have sort of a uniform where it was like a suit and kind of like a top knot mohawk kind of thing. Now she's branched out. The fashion, the visuals. And guess what? You're going to like this.
Oh, God. I already know. I can tell by your face. I can tell by your face.
What am I going to say here?
You're going to say there's some kind of David Bowie reference. I could just tell. You got the David Bowie face. Am I right? I was right. I knew it. You have a David Bowie tell.
What is it?
Pure joy. It's like a smile that I never have seen on you outside of talking about David Bowie. Your face completely changes.
Wow.
Yeah. You have a David
I
Bowie
need
tell.
to record myself with
do.
my David Bowie tell.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. My glasses
I
are
knew.
fogging up.
I
I'm
knew
getting
right
so
away.
excited.
I was like, clearly we're going to segue right into David Bowie.
Apparently she's a big Bowie fan.
Well,
Makes me love her even more.
yeah.
But yeah, there's some Bowie lookalikes in the video.
Let's see.
Boom.
This was meant for you.
It was.
She may have made this for you.
It's pretty short, by the way. It's like 45 minutes, so the length of a TV episode, very easy. We'll include the link on our website so you can watch it right from our site.
Yes.
That's the service we
Handy.
provide. And that's it.
Sounds
done
great.
talking.
I think it's perfect. What a great idea.
I was so excited to bring that Bowie
I
reference.
know you. been waiting. Like, I'm going to save this as the last line, and then I'm going to hit him with it. It's a David Bowie reference. So let's see, episode 9, and this is episode 4. So 5 in between. That's pretty good.
Yeah, restraint.
That is good.
Restraint.
Although I do think in the next episode you did say, haha, I was going to pick it again, but I didn't.
I did.
But I will say this, like, in terms of direct reference.
Right.
9, I'm impressed.
See?
I'm impressed.
I mean,
You have a level of self-control I envy.
So apparently when I pick another David Bowie pick, you're going to know immediately. You're going to see what's happening.
Yeah. Yeah. And if I get better at this, I might even be able to tell before we start. This time.
You'll see some sort of energy.
Yeah.
That I got. Okay.
Yeah, definitely. Because the face, it gives it away. Yeah. Like, it was clear where we were going.
It may have also been... well, I texted you or something this week that I was listening to David Bowie and bawling, so maybe that was another thing.
Yeah, maybe it was front of mind. Yeah, that could have been. That's fair.
I kind of like the fact that I have a tell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you could understand how genuine her love is, you would understand how actually kind of adorable the tell is, that it's this just pure, so happy. So, like, just everything is right with the world. Yeah. So, my 2, but doesn't have pictures, pop culture picks are, I went a little outside the box here.
Ooh,
and
I can't wait.
I'm going to call out a couple listeners.
Ooh,
that
even better.
Directed me to these.
Are you ready, listeners?
Yeah,
you ready
you
for
should
this?
be ready.
Yeah.
Okay. The first one came to me from Haley and Maggie.
Yeah.
They apparently also share my love of Keith Morrison.
They sure do.
As I'm finding more and more people do. They sent me a link to an Instagram account called Keith Leans on Things. I have never. It's like Amy's David Bowie moment. I don't think I've been as happy.
I don't think you have the Keith Morrison tell though. I need to watch you more carefully now. Yeah. Okay. But we'll find out. There is some joy though. I definitely see a lot of joy.
It was
a lot of joy.
It's phenomenal. I pretty much went back to their beginning of the Instagram account,
my God.
looked at all the posts just for fun. There's a couple that I'd like to highlight. One, they have an old picture of Keith like leaning on something at a party, and they call it a vintage lean. Which I couldn't stop laughing at that. But it's so. If I could have made this Instagram account, it's genius. It's quintessential Keith Morrison.
They tap
leaning
into your
on
brain.
things.
Yeah.
So incredible.
What is it about the lean? I think
He
we heard
starts
from Haley
a lot
and Maggie.
of
Okay.
Dateline episodes like leaning on a fence in a small town. Like, this is where it all began.
Wow.
One cold night in February. They never thought it would come to their small town. And then he'll like slowly start walking. You'll be like, oh, Converse. Yeah. Wow. But he likes to lean.
Wow.
So that's also a link we can put on our page
For
to this
sure.
account. You should enjoy it.
Oh my God. Yeah. Dive in like Erin did.
If you have even a tiny bit of love for Keith Morrison, this will make your day.
Okay.
Now it just comes up in my feed and I couldn't be happier. Could not be happier to see Keith Morrison's
Unexpected
face.
Keith.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hello. Yes. The second Instagram account I'm also going to recommend as a pop culture reference also came from a listener.
Who was this?
Julie gave me this pick.
Okay.
It's called Please Hate These Things.
Ooh.
And from what Julie explained to me, it started with a realtor in the Texas area that was posting pictures of horrible things she found in houses that she had to sell. Like just horrific things that you would never do to your house if you were a normal person. You know, there was one where they took a baby grand piano and like broke it down and made it like the hood vent in their kitchen. I mean, weird things that people think, oh, this is cool. And no, I can never sell this.
Oh my God.
So then apparently it gained a lot of steam and other people were sending her pictures of things. So she posts these. I don't know if there's some kind of anonymity to it, but great. And sometimes she'll get, the best part about it is not only the pictures, but the person that owns the Instagram account, the captions, she is delightfully snarky and they're hilarious. They make the rest of it so great.
Is
and
the person that runs the account the realtor?
I believe so.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Because she'll even say sometimes like, hey, this is for people that think that, you know, these are photoshopped. And then she'll send the link, like the realty link will be on there. So you can actually look at the pictures online and see that it's like a real thing. It's everything that you wanted and more.
Yeah.
There's so many weird things I've seen, but her captions, I can't get over it.
What do you think's the weirdest that you've seen?
There was one bedroom.
I mean, the piano one sounds pretty,
There's one bedroom that was entirely like tiled, like the inside of a pool. Like wall, I'm talking tiled everywhere. But in the top, the ceiling tile was like a turtle, like you're in the ocean. But the bottom was tiled like a pool. This is very confusing. And it was, I don't know how you'd sleep in there.
No, that sounds terrifying.
I
wouldn't want to close my eyes on that turtle.
I think it was supposed
to
be like some kind of soothing. It was not. It was absolutely terrifying. It was the worst.
Did they turn out to be serial killers?
I'm going to guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't do a deep dive. Maybe I should have. There's another one that there's like a peephole in a door, and there was just one of those tiny sliding barn doors that are so popular over it. And she said, people will barn door anything. I mean, it was like Barbie size. So, Julie, thank you.
Yes.
Haley, Maggie.
These both sound delightful.
Thank you. They're both important parts of my life now. So, thank you for those things.
Keep those suggestions coming, listeners. I mean,
just for my own personal delight.
Right. They're bringing us joy. They may appear on a podcast.
Yeah, this seemed like the perfect one because Instagram pictures does have pictures.
Yes.
These are things. I like my Instagram feed to be fun.
I do too. I mean, we've talked about cats of Instagram for sure.
Yes.
I've also subscribed to like an SNL fan account that just every once in a while, but just have a random clip of like an old, there was one this weekend of Bill Hader as a person that was just having a meltdown in a firehouse. And it was like Stefan on steroids. It was wonderful.
I need to get on that account. And okay, as a side note, before we close out, I have a little bit of follow up from last week. I guess it was a couple episodes ago that we talked about movies better than books better than movies.
Yeah. Okay.
I went to the movie theater since we recorded that episode.
Okay.
And I will tell you right now that there were no SnoCaps anywhere in that place.
Oh my God. Do you think they heard your cry?
I have to believe that.
Yeah.
I have to believe I have that kind of power. Otherwise, my whole life is built on a lie.
I mean, I think you have to believe that.
Yeah. I looked. I asked. Granted, the guy was like 15, and he was like, what? And I was like, never mind. This is...
See, that's good. The future generation doesn't even know about SnoCaps.
But to be fair, he also said, what? When Mike said he wanted a large Coke. So I don't know.
So maybe the future generation just doesn't know anything.
Yeah, it was all very confusing. And
Okay.
then I decided I've already spent too much time. I'll keep looking. I'll explore other movie theaters. I'm not over it yet.
Yeah.
But just wanted that to offer that as follow-up.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Also showing the power that you have.
Yeah, I got a whole snack erased. So let's keep that in mind. Those threats, I should be taking them seriously right about now.
Sure. So pretty soon we're going to strike some fear into people's hearts. They don't want to be skewered on this podcast.
No.
They'll go out of business.
Yeah, I will erase you. They won't even remember you. You know that Men in Black pen? I have one. So, wow. I don't, but I would love one.
Oh my God, yeah. Especially the new Men in Black.
Yeah.
Tessa Thompson and Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah. They're getting it international, I believe.
Sure are.
Men in Black.
International.
So, I mean, with that, we'll be back next Wednesday.
We sure will.
In between time, you can head to our website, broadsandbooks.com, where we're going to have the link to the Janelle Monáe album. We're going to have the link to these 2 Instagram accounts, so you can get all that joy that we have in your life.
Yes. I mean, we're going to make sure that you are happy when you visit our website
Damn right.
with these links and also our bonus material.
Yes.
I mean, really, you go to our website, you are not going to be disappointed.
No. If you are, you were not meant to be following us.
You're also going to see a picture of Podcat.
Delightful.
And also, if you haven't been following us, you're seeing more of Podcat. So really, you need to be following us.
Yes. So the other thing is that after you decide you love this, which obviously you're going to.
Yeah.
We just need you to write a review.
Yeah.
We got to stay up in the ratings.
Sure do.
Or get in the ratings.
So that Erin's power can grow.
Yes.
And we
We'll
can
banish
snuff
SnoCaps
out
from the land. Not just one movie theater. They'll be
from the land.
forever gone. Yes. So write a review. Wherever you listen to your podcasts, send us a note on our website. We'll even publish that.
We sure will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what we can also take? Ideas.
Yes.
We, pretty soon, or we actually just did. I'm getting confused on timing. We just did an episode that was listener suggested. We obviously are getting some suggestions on our socials for things to follow. But you want to have more power. If you're like Erin
Yeah,
and you
and
like
you
power, here's the best way to have power. Here's the best way to have eternal fame and glory. Suggest us an
I think
idea.
power's my tell. I get real excited.
That's true.
Yeah.
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 Oh man,
Sorry,
we figured
Keith
out each other
Morrison, move
tells.
over its
yeah.
power.
Oof. Yeah, you do. There's a lot of glee happening right now.
Glee. Yes.
Yeah.
That's the best use of glee ever. Gross and glee. You nailed them today.
Moral of the story is, if you have an idea for an episode, send it our way.
Yes. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, on the website. You can find us. It's not hard.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Happy reading. I'm up again. Same night, another dream. Before trying this recording thing, I didn't remember much of anything of these dreams. I didn't remember much from any of the women. And one night of doing this, and it's broken things open. The dreams they're in me, and they're coming out of me, and
To me, I am not broken. I am the most whole, most real.
Cause their despair. I wait for the word. Witch.
Look at the mad woman in her cage. She was a woman with holes inside her. That was the heaviest factor, the final evidence, the heart of the issue.
Somehow, you understand this. You hear me. Wherever you are, whatever this is, you... This isn't a dream journal anymore. It's not. It's just fact. Because now this is some sort of record. What are these dreams? Maybe there's a better question. Who are these women? Weird Woman is a Broads and Books production. All 9 episodes are available January 10th. Listen and subscribe to Weird Woman on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and your favorite podcast platform. That's WYRD Woman, wherever you listen to podcasts.